We got this camera started. Alright, so we're going to start our warm-up activity. So if everyone could stand up. Now, remember, we already discussed what our positions were going to be. So let's practice one more time. Greater than. Equal to. Less than. Equal to. Greater than. Less than. You guys got it. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I need quiet voices as we do this, okay? Because I don't want you shouting out the answer. We're going to look at number 1, and I went ahead and put, thank you. I went ahead and did the fractions because that'll save some time, okay? So I want you to look at number 1. On one side is 9/16, and on the other side is 7/16. So you're going to tell me greater than, less than, or equal to on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Greater than.
Yeah, you guys got it. Good job, good job.
Supposed to bounce.
Okay. Oops, look what I did. All right. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. One side we have 9/16. The next side we have 7/8. On the count of 3, I want you to tell me what you think the answer is. 1, 2, 3. You guys are smart. You got it. All right. Here's number 3. We have 5/16 on one side and 1/2 on the next side. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Good job, good job. You're right. Less than. All right. Number 4. 4/16 on one side, 1/4 on the other side. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, good job, good job. Equal to, you guys got it. All right, number 5. 3/8 on one side and 1/4 on the other side. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You guys are on fire. Good job. All right, last one. Make this one count. 3/8 on one side and 1/2 on the other side. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Very good work. You guys can sit down. So now that I know you can compare fractions with a visual fraction model, we don't need to work on this as much. So here's what I'm going to introduce. Today we are going to talk about something called the benchmark fraction. And as you watch the video, I want you to listen for what that means. So when it's over, I'll ask you, what do you think it means? And then we'll talk about it. And then we're also going to practice comparing fractions on a number line. So, all right. Give me a second here.
How do you compare fractions with different numerators and denominators to a benchmark fraction by using a number line? For example, in this lesson, you will learn how to compare fractions with different numerators and denominators to the benchmark fraction of 1/2 by using number lines. Let's review. This is the fraction 1/2. The top number is called the numerator, and this tells us how many parts we have. The bottom number is called the denominator, and this tells us how many equal parts make up the whole. There are 3 signs you need to know in order to compare fractions: less than, equal to, and greater than. Remember, we're less than and greater than signs, the bigger side of the sign, or the open side, always faces the larger fraction. A common mistake students often make is comparing the numerators without looking at the denominators. In these two fractions, the numerators are the same, so some students may think that these fractions are equal. Actually, the fractions are not equal because the denominators are different. We have to keep in mind that the denominators tell us how many equal parts make up a whole. Another common mistake students often make is failing to divide their number lines into equal parts based on the denominator of the fractions. This fraction, 3/8, tells us that we need to divide our line into 8 equal parts. It's important to divide our line into equal parts so that we can better see.
Okay, here's what I want you guys to remember when we're going to be practicing drawing number lines. Raise your hand if you practice drawing number lines. Okay, so we know that when we're going to do fractions, we're going to start the beginning of our number line with a 0, and we're going to end it with a 1. Depending on what I give you will be, as the denominator is what will be 1, right? So 8 over 8 equals 1. So if we had a fraction 7/16, 1 would be what? 16 over 16, right? Because 16 divided by 16 is 1. And then when we start with 0, so you'll actually have more lines. So we'll do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Does that make sense? So you'll always, the first line will always be 0, and then we start 1. And then when we get to 7/8, the next number to make it 8/8 is when that would be 1. Okay, and we'll practice more of that.
When we compare other number lines and fractions. So how do we figure out if a fraction is equivalent, larger, or smaller than the other? Let's make stacked number lines. Here's the benchmark fraction of 1/2. I put it in green so that you can see this benchmark. This just means that it's a common fraction that's often used to compare to other fractions. We use benchmarks because it's helpful to know about how large a fraction is when comparing to fractions or working with them in any way. Comparing fractions to a fraction similar to 1/2 can give us a sense of the relative size of other fractions. So let's compare this benchmark to 3/8. Let's make our line for 3/8. We know we divide our line into 8 equal parts. And we shade 3. So we see here that the fraction 1/2 is greater than 3/8. How could you use number lines to compare the fractions 1/3 and 4/6 to the benchmark fraction 1/2? Here's our line for 1/3. Here's our benchmark fraction in green for 1/2. And here's our line for 4/6. Let's start with 1/3. We divide our line into 3 equal parts because our denominator tells us to. Then we shade 1. Now for 4/6, divide our line into 6 equal parts, and then how many do we shade? 4. Our numerator tells us to shade 4. So looking at these lines, we know that the lines with more shading tells us that it's a larger fraction. So here we can see that 1/3 is less than 1/2, and 1/2 is less than 4/6. Remember, the bigger side of the sign, or the open side, always faces the larger fraction. In this lesson, you learned how to compare fractions with different numerators and denominators to the benchmark fraction of 1/2 by using number lines.
Okay. So, from that, what do you think a benchmark fraction is? Put that way. AJ.
A separator or separating fraction.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's a common fraction used to compare other
Yes.
fractions.
Yes. So, if you guys have your notebooks, benchmark fraction. Is a common fraction that is used to compare other fractions. Now there are tons of different ways we can compare fractions without using visual models or without using the number line that I'm about to teach you. But today we're just going to learn about the benchmark fraction. So that way you guys kind of have all those tools in your toolbox to know how to find it in different ways. Okay, so benchmark fraction is a common fraction that is used to compare other fractions. And those common fractions are things like 1/3, 1/2. What are some other common fractions you guys think? 1/4. 1/5. Yes, and here's the thing, they're all unit fractions, right? Because they have 1 in the numerator. So, before we compare two different fractions to our benchmark fraction, I'm just going to give you guys one fraction and I want you to compare it to the benchmark fraction half. That's what we'll be working with today, is just half, okay, to introduce it. So we have, and you guys could put this in your notebook as an example. So we have 0 and 1. And if we're doing 1/2, 1/2 is right in the middle. Okay, so that's what we will be comparing it to. So now I'm going to just give you a random fraction, okay? So say we have 4/6. Now, what should my first line be? Should that be a 0 or should that be a 1?
0.
Right. And at the end, what will this be?
1.
1. Good. Now, because our denominator is 6, 1 basically means what? 6/6. Okay? So, we're going to do 0, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and then the next one is our 6/6, but we're putting 1. Thumbs up when you're good to go to the next part. Thank you. There's no rush. Take your time if you need it. Awesome. Good job. Got it. Alright, those are great looking number lines. Alright, so we know how many lines we need because we looked at our denominator. Good. So now, to know how many parts we shade in, we have to look at our numerator. How many shades do we need to do? 4. So we'll start at this first section after the 0. So we'll shade 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is a little skewed, I'm sorry. So, if we're looking at 4/6, and if we could even just draw a line straight up, whoop, if we wanted to, is 4/6 greater than, less than, or equal to 1/2?
4/6 is greater than 1/2.
4/6 is greater than 1/2. And also, you know, this is the way we're learning it, but if you want to double check it in your mind to make sure it's correct, 1/2 is such a common fraction. If we have 6 in the numerator, what is half of 6? 3/6. So is 4 bigger or smaller than 3?
Bigger.
Right. So you can kind of double check yourself in your mind. That's also a way you could figure out greater than, less than, or equal to, but I'm just teaching you this. But this is a good way to double check. Okay, so let's try another one. And you guys don't have to put this one in your notes. What I'm going to do, let's do one more together and then we'll do one more for practice and then we'll move on, okay? So we're practicing with 1/2 today. So we have 1, 0, 1/2. All right, so let's do, I want to do
5, 6.
Sure, 5, 6. So if we do 5, 6, what will my first line be?
0.
0. What will my line on the other end be then?
1.
1. Okay, so let's make our lines. Oops, 6. 1, 6. 2, 6. 3, 6. 4, 6. 5, 6. Right? And then 1 would be what? 6 over 6. Okay? So, Kira.
Doesn't 3, 6 have to line up with the 1/2?
Yes, it does. In a perfect world. Yes. Good job. Thank you for reminding me.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you told me. Thank you. It's hard to do it from up here. Okay, so we knew that we had to do 6 out of 6 because of our denominator. What's in our numerator? 5. Right, so how many spaces do we need to shape?
5.
5. So let's shape 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we can just draw our line right up if we want to do it that way visually. So, five, 6 is what to 1/2? Greater than. You guys got it. All right. Let's do one on our own for practice. I'll walk around, see if you guys got it, and then we'll
Think of
compare
anything?
2 fractions.
Any?
So, yeah, keep it in the simplest form though. So, your benchmark fraction is 1/2. Okay? Your benchmark fraction is 1/2. I want you to pick a fraction that you want to compare it to. But remember, keep it more simple so you don't have to draw as many lines. And I will give you guys a second, and then I'll walk around and we'll check, and then we'll move on. If I don't get to you, raise your hand so I know I can go check. All right. Nice. Oh, no, you're fine. Good job. Good job. You got it. Good job. Are you done, Zach? Good job. How you doing, Michelle? Good job. You guys got it. Yes, we're actually going to compare 2 fractions now. I don't want to flip my page.
Can you go ahead and do comparing 2 fractions?
Great. So, here's what we're going to do here. Let me flip it back on. We're going to work with the computer here. And we're going to do a little bit of writing practice here.
Now it's your turn. Use the number lines below to compare the fractions 1/6 and 5/12 to the benchmark fraction of 1. I challenge you to pause this video
Okay.
and try it.
Pause. Okay. So, let's practice together. And we'll do this one together.
Are you gonna call us names to come up and draw the line?
You guys want to?
Yes.
All right.
I love this.
So, who wants to come up and draw the lines for Lowell? Sorry. Who does not want to come up to the board?
No.
Anybody?
No one doesn't.
Nobody? All right. Well, then I love it. I love your guys' enthusiasm. All right.
Draw the line. Is it okay for not to leave?
Absolutely. Just try your very best. Peyton, can you come draw my 1/6 lines? And also label them for me, okay?
I really want to draw the 12s, even though I don't know how. I want to draw the half. I'm good at halves. I'm good at halves. That's an easy one to draw. I'm great at them. Best. The halves. Halves. Best out, you know halves.
Good job. All right. The lucky person doing the half. AJ, come do my half.
3, 6. 4, 5, 6, 6.
Perfect.
5, 6.
Thank you. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move Peyton's 3/6 over a little bit so we can line it up a little more. All right. Person doing my 12s.
It's part of me. I bet I'm wearing my lucky switch. Has to be me.
Michelle.
Darn it.
Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
She's not here. Yeah, she's not here.
Yeah, she's not here today. Tommy, it's your lucky day, my friend. Draw my
it's my
flag.
lucky sweatshirt.
Try to line up the 6 spots. Okay. Man, I really miss that, Michelle.
Should I reduce it? I wish she was here
No,
today.
no reducing.
Yeah, too bad. I really wish she
We're
was
just
here
adding
today.
underline.
Guys, let's not talking about it. Okay, we'll make this out. Yeah, we'll make this out. Let's not talk about it. You're right. Please. 11, 12. Heads up. Heads up. I gotta draw my 12. No, I did this wrong. What's wrong? It's cute. It's cute.
That's a beautiful line. You got it. Good job. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Good job on your notes.
Now, I need someone to come shade in my 1/6. So,
Well, actually, I'm going to do it because Michelle's going to do it.
oh,
Oh, somebody.
Kara, come shade in my 1/6.
Are you using red?
Good job.
And
We'll do green for half like they did in the video. All right, somebody shade in my half. AJ, you just, the half wants you, man. Shade in my half.
We should have taken out the people who already gone. Yeah, we should have taken out the people who've already gone. Yeah.
Well, remember, we're going to have plenty more chances to practice.
Oh, right.
No, we don't.
Yes, Yes, we are.
We got plenty of time to practice. Good job. And to shade in my 512, the one for me.
Hold me.
It
wants me.
I am trying to give you guys a
It
chance
wants
here.
me.
Luke, I'm shading in my 512.
It's sad. It's sad. Zach,
Right there.
I like the sweatshirt. It does go on. I'm the only one who does it.
And toes. All right, awesome. Okay, thank you, Luke. All right, so here's what I like to do when I'm doing them. And you don't have to, but I really like to just draw a line, whoop, right down the middle, because what's our benchmark
I
fraction?
do that too. I do that.
Half, so that's what we're comparing it to, right?
You made green.
So, and I'll put this up here. So we have 1/2 in the middle, 1/6 on this side, 5/12 on this side. So let's look at our 1/6 as compared to our benchmark fraction 1/2. Is 1/6 less than, greater than, or equal to? Show me your stance.
1/6 is less.
Perfect. So 1/6 is less than 1/2. What about 5/12? Greater than, less than, or equal to?
You got me for 1/2. You just said it. Guys, what happened?
Oh, listen.
1/2 is larger than 5/12.
Oh, but listen to your ears.
Oh, so less than.
5/12 is it less than, greater than, or equal to 1/2?
That's what I just did.
Good.
That's what I was trying to test.
But you're right. But when we look at this, what do we need to write? 1/2 is
Greater than.
Yep, greater than. Good. So
It is bouncing.
Yeah.
1/2 gets eaten.
we have to be really, really careful when we're writing those, okay? That's what I want you guys to remember, because when you're comparing it, 5/12 is less than 1/2. You guys were right, but when we're writing it up here, you gotta remember what side it's on, because remember, greater than or less than, the open mouth always points to the bigger.
The alligator wants the big kill.
So I'm going to erase this, and we're going to watch and see if we did it correctly.
I think the alligator wants the big kill. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
So let's watch and see if we did it correctly.
For yourself. When you're finished, or if you're having trouble and want to see how I do it, press play.
Oh wow.
And then we shade one side of it.
All right, so you guys labeled the half correctly, and you shaded correctly. Good job, AJ. Good job.
Okay, so this is 1/2. Now let's do 1/6 and 5/12. Start with 1/6. We need to make 6 equal parts.
You know what? I'm going to fast forward to her answer, so that way we have time to practice.
Fun.
And here is the other fractions. So now we
So
have
that looks the same to ours.
Exactly.
So 1/6, our biggest number is 1/2. I'm going to write that
I
one
feel
down.
like ours was better.
It's bigger than me.
Yes. So see what she did is
So we can
what she did was lined up the numbers in order from smallest to largest. So she went 1/6 is less than 5/12, which is also less than 1/2.
Smart. That's smart.
So either way you guys want to do it, like I said, just remember you have to know where those signs are. You got to be really conscious of those.
And don't make them 7s.
Don't make them 7s. All right.
I always used to do that.
Do you guys want to do one more together, or you think you're ready to try
We're
it
ready.
now?
We're ready to do it.
All right, so I'm going to give you one. And what is the benchmark fraction we're working with?
1/2.
All right, so we know that our benchmark fraction is 1/2.
Served your drawing box. I used one. Are you making one on our own?
No, hold on.
I'm using.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
I don't have enough.
All right, so we know that our benchmark fraction is 1/2. first fraction to be 1/7.
Should we draw that in the number line?
Yep, I want you to draw, oh, hold on, sorry, just kidding. I want you to have, I already had it ready, 7/8
7th.
and 9/16.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Okay, I got it.
So on your paper, it'll look like this. I'll give you a second or so to work on it.
Good. Running a little bit.
I'm going to make that a little more pretty so we can go over it. Did everybody have the fractions written down so I can rewrite them? How you guys go?
9/16. Okay.
7/8, 1/2, 9/16. Did you get it, AJ?
So no reducing?
No reducing. No, because we're working with number line.
Just like repeated addition. And how much was the 8? Oh yeah, I have it written down. Here we go. 9/16.
Draw them and show them I want to see. It's very small. And I'm going to have that benchmark fraction in there, 1/2. So we're going to have those three numbers that we just practiced. job. Alright, so some of you are still working. Kara, I want you to go up and draw the number line. No shading, just the number line for 70s.
Oh gosh, I can do that.
Can I do that?
I draw 9/16.
Aren't you going to draw 6? Aren't you going to just draw the 6? Because there's some people still working. can you come do my half?
It's going to be 9/16. I'm going to make this long.
Zach, you can come up. Oh, did they?
They make it long and hard. Make it last. They're making it free. Air pressure. Air pressure. He's making it pressure. Tell me, stop pushing it down so hard. Make it long and hard. Oh gosh. Nails on chop. I need to get it online. I need to make it in line. Sorry, Tommy. That's not exactly enough. I couldn't make it because I was standing up. I had a basis. Oh gosh. That's really good. Oh gosh, Tommy. I put it off. Draw a half, we draw legs, something lines on one side, something lines on the other side. Sorry.
Beautiful, thank you. Here, let's
Make
make
it
it.
last. Because if I got the 9/16, it's actually oh my god. Takes grammar competition.
Right, got it. And then this one.
I don't think I know the
And then you got it. Kira, go ahead. Come, shake my 7/8, please.
That you wrote 8 to 6. Shouldn't that be 16?
Yeah, that was actually Mrs. Oval.
You know you could just draw a blue line. Yeah. No, I think you should shade it. Shade.
Whatever you want to do.
Fake purple. Yo, purple. Wow.
Blue, come shake my hat.
Oh gosh. Make it long and hard, Luke.
Don't make it long and hard.
Luke, don't push down as hard as possible.
That
That
was
was
so
screeching sound.
There you go.
Yay, Luke! You don't make it last super long like
Hey,
Tommy.
Luke, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh gosh, Zach, you're still drawing that?
Yes.
9.
Or saying like you have your eraser on real pencil, and then you try to erase that metal thing banging against the
Table underneath is so bad. It's okay. Tommy. Oh my gosh, that's bad.
That's okay.
What's happening?
So you have 4 here. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
What's your pencil?
That I won't throw too fast one.
I like your outfit, Mrs. O.
Well, thank you very
Water
much.
bottles.
Very good. Good job, Zach.
Yay, Zach! Woo! Zach B! Yeah, that's Zacko. That's Zacko.
I just call him Zacko.
Zacko.
Exactly, Zach.
Exactly,
Get it?
Zacko.
See what I did
No,
there?
exactly.
Exactly. Exactly. You gotta be kidding me out.
Oh gosh.
You gotta be kidding me out.
Thank you. Alright, so what we can do is we can just go. Well, it's a little off, but okay. So let's do, we have 7/8. I like to put 1/2 in the middle because that's what we're comparing it to.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
So, everybody stand up. Alright, on the count of 3, we're looking at 7/8 is what? Then 1/2. 1, 2, 3.
Catch me.
What?
Wait,
You're right. 7/8 is greater than 1/2. Now 1/2 is what? Then 9/16. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
1/2 is less than 9/16. Good job. So let's go before we end, and I give you your stuff.
This is fun.
What's that?
Let's double check our work, right?
Double.
So 8, 2, and 16. Yeah, you can sit down.
Aww.
8, 2, and 16. What's our biggest number? Out of 8, 2, and 16.
16.
So we're going to leave 9/16 the same. Now, if we want to make it an equivalent fraction, equivalent means
Same as the same amount, but looks different.
so
We could make
we
it
want to get it to
8,
16.
16.
Good. Now, remember from yesterday, we're doing times 8 times 8. So we're 8 over 8. Okay? So we have 8/16.
I'm confused. That's not equivalent.
Yeah, it is.
Well, 8/16 and 9/16?
No,
we're not there yet.
9/16 and 1/2. We're making sure it's larger than 1/2.
So, what would this be?
2. It'd be 14.
14. It'd be 14.
Because we multiplied it by
2 over 2.
2. So then we have 14. You know what? Guess what? Did it backwards. So we have 14, 16,
Oh.
8, 16, and 9, 16. So now that they're all the same denominator,
And you can reduce it back to the one.
Right.
That's correct.
so is 14 greater than 8?
Yes.
Check. Is 8 less than 9?
Yes.
Check. Were we correct?
Yeah.
You guys are so smart. All right. So what I'm going to pass out now, it's called a one-sheeter. Okay?
One cheetah?
One sheeter.
Cheater?
One sheeter.
One cheater?
So you're each going to get one of this, okay? There's 4 sections. So the first one is visual fraction model, number line, benchmark fraction, and equivalent fraction. I just want you to write everything you know about each topic, okay?
Oh my gosh.
You can give
That's
me
going to be paragraph after paragraph after
Paragraph.
paragraph.
I want you, if it has a definition, give me a definition and an example.
We're going to have
Okay.
essays here.
You do not have to write essays. Just give me
End up having-
definition, example. I would love it. This middle one, I want you to title this. What of all this, what could we put in the middle? And that's completely up to you.
Yay!
Okay? So you guys have the remaining of the class time. And I want to thank you guys for letting me come into your classroom and work with such awesome people.
Well, thank
Can I
you.
talk more now?
Yeah, you're good.
Since you're not talking.
Thank you. Thank you.